All right, welcome to the channel. This is Trading Tips and Tools, or Redbeard Trading. I don't know, I've got to think of a name. Anyway, today we're going to talk a little bit about options. If you're familiar with Brendan's channel, you probably just watched a video that he posted about level 1 options, basically writing options into the market, using that as passive income, putting your own shares in cash up as collateral. So maybe you're in the Discord, or maybe you're just searching about what the heck an option is, how to trade an option, and you found some stuff about like, okay, well, I can buy a call, I can buy a put. Let's talk about exactly what an option is and how it's built. So before we jump in here, who am I and what the heck am I doing here? My name is Philip George. I work at Team Alpha Trading, and my job is to teach people like you who are learning how to trade options, stocks, whatever it may be, how to read charts, how to look at the market objectively, and how to learn how to build trades on your own so that you can do this by yourself profitably. We have a team of coaches, we have a team of analysts who are inside the Discord all the time, teaching and sharing what they know, what we know about the market, about what we've seen. That being said, none of us are financial advisors. Nothing said here should be used to either buy, sell, or hold anything. So if you see any stocks on the screen, don't do it. If you lose your money, it's your own fault. Maybe you're saying right now, Philip, how do I get in this amazing Discord? Well, right now, currently at May 9th, 2024, membership was actually shut down. And we do that for a couple of reasons. We want to make sure they get in the Discord. We want to make sure they know how to use the Discord. We want them to know where to go to get information at, right? So we do that in sections so that we don't get too overwhelmed and nobody falls through the cracks. If you think that's something you might want to do, check the description below for a link that will put you on the wait list so that when we open our doors again, you will be notified. Now, let's jump into what an option is. As you can see, I pulled up Google because it's Google, and we're going to look at what Google says, and then we'll jump into some more specifics about what an option is and how you can use them. An option is a contract giving the buyer the right, but not the obligation, to buy in case of a call or to sell in case of a put, the underlying asset at a specific price on or before a certain date. Now, what does that mean? Okay, let's jump into it. An option is not a stock. It is not an ETF. A stock and an ETF are the things on the market that you see, the companies like Nike, the ETFs like SPY and QQQ. So how do options play into this? Okay, so not every stock or ETF has an option. So what an option is a contract that allows us, the buyers or the sellers, to put in a specific date and a specific price for what we either want to buy at or sell at. All right, so let's look at some examples so that we can kind of get an idea of what's going on. As you can see, I have a stock in front of me called AMD, Advanced Micro Devices. This is a stock that we typically look at pretty regularly in the mornings when we trade live in the Discord. So when you're looking and seeing what to do, let's say I want to purchase and trade AMD, but I'm not looking to spend the money right now to do it. What can I do? Well, I can buy an option to spend the money later in case I decide that it was actually a good move. Let's say I think that this is going to go to the upside. We're going to move from 152.20-ish. You can kind of see that we're moving because we are trading live, all the way up to like maybe 165. I'm just saying that and throwing a number just so we can kind of get some idea of what's going on. So let's say I don't want to spend $15,200 to buy 100 shares of this, but I do have that money if I want to use it later. What I can do is I come over here, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to choose an expiration date. Whatever this date is the date that contract will expire on when that date ends. And so if I think this is going to be up here at 165 before the end of next week, what I can do is I can come over here and go to May 17th, 2024, 8D, which means 8-day contract. Yes, that is counting the weekends, and no, you're not allowed to trade on the weekend. So please keep that in mind when you're buying these, especially if you're looking to actually just trade contracts. We'll talk about that in just a second. So what I would do is, if I think this is going to continue going up, but I don't want to front the money right now, what I can do is I can spend $335 on a contract. I would hit this ask column. It will populate an order entry for me, and then I can purchase a contract or contracts that will give me the right to buy this stock at $152.50 anytime I want to before the end of next Friday. And so if I were to purchase this options contract and this stock were to go up to $165, Anytime during that contract life, I can exercise that contract, spend $152 per share, which means I will have to spend $15,200. And then I can turn around and sell them at the current market value, which means that if I sell way up here, that I'm looking at a possible, $12 or $13 gain per share. And I only spent $3 per share buying the contract, which means I profited $10 per share on that trade. So just to kind of make sure you understand, $3.50 per share per contract, which means I'm going to spend $350 per contract. But I'm going to make, if that move happens the way that I want to, about $13 per share per contract, which means I'm going to make about $1,300 on that trade. So, not too shabby. If I wanted to have a different option, I have the option to sell this contract before it gets to expiration. However, you must know that once this contract gets close to the expiration date, the value of this contract is going to go down significantly. Let's look at the options that expire tomorrow. For the same contract strike price, you're looking at a $115 price tag instead of the $335 price tag. So if I'm not willing to lose some money on this contract, but I don't think that it's going to get up to my specified price, if this price were to move anywhere close to $125.50 or over quick enough, the value of this contract will go up. I can resell the contract for the gain instead of waiting and trying to spend $15,000 and make that trade. So let's look at the put side. What does the put side tell us? If we're buying a put, we're thinking that the value of the stock is going to go down. Still not buying any shares yet, but let's say I buy a put for next Friday at a $150 strike price. I would spend $232 buying this put contract. That gives me the right to sell 100 shares of AMD for $150 regardless of what the price is, anytime before the expiration date. And in this case, it will be the end of next Friday on May the 17th still, because that's the date that I picked. So if this were to fall tomorrow to $125, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just throwing out some numbers for easy math here, okay? So let's say it goes all the way down to $125 tomorrow. What I can do is I can buy them at the current market value, which would give me 100 shares at about $12,500. And then immediately I can exercise this, giving me the option to sell all of those shares that I just purchased at $150 because that's what my contract is for. So immediately, even though I just spent $230 buying this contract, I just bought shares for $12,500 and immediately turned around and sold them for $15,200, which means $15,000, which puts me right about that $2,500 to $3,000 gain. Totally worth the $230, if you ask me. Again, if it doesn't reach that specified or my goal price before it gets to the end of that, what I can do is, if it moves quickly enough down to the downside, again, these contracts are going to go up in value, and I can resell those contracts for a higher price, making my gains on trading the option contract itself and not using $15,000 or $12,000 to purchase 100 shares to then turn around and exercise that contract value. All right, let's put the chart away for just a second. I'm going to use a quick analogy that I think might help you wrap your brain around what's going on. Okay, so let's imagine you went to the store today, and I don't know how much a bag of 100 apples will cost, but let's just say it's $50. Let's say they give you a deal on it. I don't know how much apples are right now. So you went to the store, you bought one bag with 100 apples in it. So that bag is the contract. That apples themselves are each individual share. You have 100 shares inside of the contract. So one bag, 100 apples. You have options. Okay, here are your options. those apples are not going to last forever. They will go bad. And when they go bad, they are worthless. Nobody wants those apples. You can try to eat them, but it's disgusting. You can try to sell them. No one will want them. Okay? That is your expiration date. If you hold that bag of apples until those apples go bad, no one's going to want them, including you. They will expire worthless. Does that make sense? Okay. Here are the other two options that you have. Options, right? You can either take that bag down the road where those apples may look a little more enticing and resell those apples, that bag of apples, for a higher price. Let's say you can go down the road and sell them for $70. Okay, well, you paid $50 for them, you got $70 for them, you made $20 just off of trading the apples, right? Here's the other option. You can eat those apples. Okay, if you eat those apples, you are exercising those apples. So you're using those apples on your own. It's the same thing with options. Once you buy that contract, you have a certain amount of time before those contracts will go bad. Once those contracts are bad, nobody wants them. That's why they expire worthless, just like the apples. You can, if the apples get more expensive, if the contract gets more expensive because the price is moving in the direction that you thought it would, and it moves quick enough, instead of spending $15,000 to buy and trade and sell to try to get that money, you can just resell that contract, because eating 100 apples is a lot of work. Okay, keep that in mind. Or if you prefer to, or you have the money to, what you can do is you can eat those apples yourself, right? You can pay the 15 grand for the shares, turn around and sell them back for 16 grand, or have that sell contract, buy them at 12,000 grand, and then turn around and sell them for 15, right? However you've worked that contract or that math in your head, that's how you use that as far as eating the apples, right? You are consuming the efforts of that, right? You're taking the time to use that contract and use those 100 apples for yourself. So those are your three options. Options, get it? 3 options. You can either use the contract, exercise it for your benefit, or you can sell that contract to somebody else, let somebody else deal with the apples, or you can let those apples expire and it expires worthless. So I hope that helps you understand exactly what an option is, how it works, and the basics of it. I know we didn't get into any of the Greeks, but we're trying to keep these videos short so that you actually finish them. So if you have any questions, please feel free to comment. Please follow the link below. Get on that wait list and come join us in the Discord where we can hang out and talk and have fun and make money all at the same time. See you later.